It's Together Month! Alright, so we are next to each other in the same location. See our video from last week on an explanation why, but I mean, we've only done our announcement of us being together and then the Pop Drop Gum video, so welcome to our first official video together. So we don't talk about YouTubers that much. I made one video on that did really well, so maybe we should talk about them more. But today we're talking about a YouTuber who we've both been watching for many years, TheOdd1sOut. So this video is kind of all over the place. We don't have a plan or a script or anything. We just have a lot of thoughts and feelings. So where do we want to start, Isaac?
Oh boy, there's a lot.
All right, shall we just go into our history first?
Yes.
So a brief history of us and watching TheOdd1sOut. Basically, I subscribed to James before 100K, but I don't quite remember when. So I was pretty early to the TheOdd1sOut train, seeming as now he has 10 million subs.
Right.
But I technically wasn't actually that early, but I remember, but I did subscribe to him early on. And then Isaac and I, whenever we used to visit each other as children, and we still do this now, is what we do is we always just show each other a bunch of our favorite YouTube videos. I showed him TheOdd1sOut. He started watching TheOdd1sOut, and so that's how we both got into TheOdd1sOut.
Again, no idea how early that was, but a while.
Yeah, it was. I remember specifically subscribing before 100K because that was the first Sprinkles video to come out for me. I had watched the others, but the first one I actually was like, I'm a sprinkle in this one, was the 100,000 one.
Right, okay. I think the first thing to really talk about is what TheOdd1sOut used to be.
Yeah.
We have to lay a basis for what. So, I think the thing that makes animation YouTube, storytime YouTubers feel special is that, it feels like they're just talking to you. It feels like they're not above you in any way. It feels like you're just, which, I don't feel the same way about, say, MatPat or something.
Yeah, because that's a very high production thing. And animation is high production, but since it's, it's usually, a very simple style. Obviously now animators usually have a team, which is fine because that means we get more content.
Right.
But, using, a very simple style with just, a plain voiceover and not, complex animation, just, the whole, that kind.
Exactly. It just has this personal feel. Watching the TheOdd1sOut videos now do not feel like that.
No, oh my god. So James started making comics, and some of his comics are not that funny, but some of his comics are funny. But he started making comics. Well, that's how he started.
Well, he had been making comics before he started YouTube.
Before he started YouTube, and then on YouTube, when I subscribed to him, it was pretty. Stop cracking your knuckles. When I subscribed to him, it was pretty much exclusively storytime videos, which is why I liked it. And most of his story times, he was here's high school stories, or me working a job, or me being anxious. And I could relate to that because I was in high school, not working a job, but I was anxious. And now his videos are just him giving opinions on things that no one asked for his opinion about.
Right. He did one on, his opinion on mobile game ads and stuff.
And, one on, conspiracy theorists. And, the thing, I don't mind when, YouTubers make videos about their opinions. Other animation YouTubers do it all the time.
Right.
But I feel when he makes videos about his opinions, he, comes off in a way that he thinks anyone who disagrees with him is just wrong and stupid and the worst kind of person.
Right.
The way that he talks about people who disagree with his opinions, he makes them sound like they're literally the dumbest people on earth.
In his crazy people's video.
He literally made a video called Crazy People.
Which was literally just about people whose opinions don't align with his.
Yeah, it's about conspiracy theorists and stuff, and obviously some conspiracy theorists are out there, but you don't call people who just believe something you don't stupid.
Right. And that's such because what was I gonna say?
It's such a privileged white man thing.
Yes. And in that video, he's referring to these people they're there for entertainment.
Yeah.
He's
just there for mockery.
Right. He's having conversations with these people is great because they're dumb and wrong. And it's funny.
So I think that's the first thing that I've noticed about him recently is that he's just not relatable anymore.
Right. He doesn't talk about relatable stuff. He just talks about his beliefs, his thoughts, which
are not relatable because he makes it you feel like a piece of shit if you don't agree with him.
Right.
He does that on Twitter as well. You saw the tone indicator joke.
Oh, the tone indicator.
I don't think he should be canceled for that, but he made a joke about he He said not tone indicators, but like the /s is a super helpful and useful tool, and then did /s, meaning that he didn't think it was useful, and then people were like, no, some people need this.
Right. He deleted that though.
Yeah, he deleted that and he apologized for it. He was like, oh, but I feel like, why would you say that?
Right.
Like, you just don't take into account that some people, like, not even just neurodivergent people. It's very hard to tell tone.
Right.
And
that's so, who looks at that and is like, this is dumb, this is useless. Like, there are so many uses.
I know. And, like, not only did he think it was useless, he thought it was so useless that he had to joke about it on Twitter.
Right. He had to go on Twitter and insult it.
And everyone who used it was just, like, being, like, crazy or whatever. That's a running theme. Anyone who he doesn't understand or agree with is crazy. They're stupid. They're only there to be mocked.
Yes.
And obviously we don't know him.
Right.
And we're not trying to cancel anybody. We're just here to complain because we used to really like him.
Do we want to talk about the hypocrisy?
Oh, sure. You can go off on that.
Okay. So the odd one's out. Well, he's just like a sellout now.
Oh my god.
The costume.
If you can walk into Target and see a YouTuber's merch, they have just devolved into the worst type of YouTuber.
Yes.
Except for JoJo Siwa, we stand. We stand JoJo Siwa. Queen, icon, legend. We gatekeep hashtag girl boss.
I think my issue with the Odd Ones Out started with looking at his merch, and there was a $300 mushroom person marshmallow person costume.
Oh, of him?
Of like his avatar for Halloween.
All you would have to do is be really pale and get naked. And bald. You can do it. You want to cosplay as James?
I think I'll pass. But then my biggest thing is he did a video talking about things that should be illegal, and one of them was advertising to children on apps. Yes. Not advertising, but like in-app purchases, which everyone
like tricking kids into spending their parents'
right,
money.
which most people could agree with. But then he made a game. He made a mobile game, and guess what there is in that mobile game?
In-app purchases that are convincing kids to spend their parents' money.
In-app purchases. No, I've never played this. I've just seen people talk about the fact that there is a game that has the Odd Ones Out name attached to it with in-app purchases made after his video came out about how bad in-app purchases are.
Like, why, if you were... Because the whole point of in-app purchases in games is literally to trick kids into spending money.
Right.
Because they don't understand. They have no concept of money, so they don't know. They just feel like, oh, if I do this, I'll get this.
Right.
And so the whole point is tricking kids. Like, no person over the age of 13 is doing an in-app purchase of a mobile game.
Yeah, so that's upsetting.
Okay, I'm editing the video and Isaac has something to say.
Okay, so in the video we were talking about the Odd Ones Out, like...
You don't need to give context, they just saw it.
Right. App Store game, Let's Bounce. I went to download it to get, like, screenshots for the video, but it turns out it is not online anymore. Like... It just does not exist on the App Store. But it did exist, I promise you. Look, I'm on the webpage for it. It did at one point exist. I don't know why it was taken down. But it did exist, I promise.
Well, do you want to talk about the board game? Because I don't really know much about that.
This is the Odd Ones Out first board game. Can't Catch Harry. And keep in mind, this was made back when we still thought the Odd Ones Out was like a wholesome creator. It's just fun game merch, right? So I bought it. Turns
you didn't buy it. My sister bought it for you. She'll comment that if you say that.
Thank you.
Okay, continue.
So this was bought for me. It's Can't Catch Harry, which at first I thought, oh, this is a fun game. Turns out this is just a game, a very popular card game called Spoons, but instead of spoons, it's moths. So if you've never played Spoons before, it's just play with a normal deck of cards with just spoons in the middle of the table. And it has the exact same rules as this. So if you've ever played this game, you know how to play Spoons as well. And obviously, he just took that idea, because you can. Spoons isn't copyrighted by anyone, it's just a card game, same as like War. But yeah, he clearly just took that and turned it into a game. And I'm not saying games haven't taken card games and stuff, but this adds nothing to Spoons. This adds nothing except just fun artwork and 3D moths.
Because, like, Among Us is just mafia in space. And I will die by that.
There's so much. It adds so much time. You can't just say some random social deduction game is like every other social deduction game.
Isaac's a nerd, everyone. Isaac's a big old nerd.
You're killing me.
I don't know. I don't even like the game because I don't like timed games. Any game with a timer, I just break down and I can't function. Maybe people were clicking on this expecting us to like make fun of him for being a furry. But we don't even care
That's
about
not problematic.
That's not at all what we're here to complain about. We're here to complain about the giant capitalist.
His girlfriend's a furry too.
His girlfriend's a furry
He said so.
Too. That video about his girlfriend. Oh my god, can we talk about that?
Amazing segue.
I do not understand straight people's humor, where their humor is just making fun of how much they hate their partner. Like, imagine, okay, incest is legal, Isaac and I are now dating, and we are straight. We are now a straight couple. Imagine if I thought it was funny to just be like, Isaac sucks. I hate Isaac. He's the worst. And that was funny because we were dating and straight. I don't understand that, because that's not just the thing he does. That's just a straight people thing to do, is to just make fun of your partner for comedy, and I don't get it.
Right.
Because it's not just like playful making fun. People will be like, my wife's a bitch. I hate her. I want her to die. I am chained to this house. I cannot leave this building without consulting my wife. And then it's like,
It's like the John Mulaney sketch where it's like, I would never say that about my wife.
And that video was just uncomfortable.
That video was uncomfortable. There were a lot of times in that video where I'm like, this is private information. I didn't need to know that. And like, I've never had that problem with his earlier storytime videos because like, funny stories about you being dumb in high school are funny. Stories about you telling stories about other people, insulting other people is problematic.
Because she's obviously okay with it because she let him upload it.
Right.
So it's like, no one's getting hurt, but like, I feel hurt.
Yeah, that entire video, you're just like, oh, that's a mean joke.
It's like, oh god, I guess she's okay with this.
Right, and some of his other videos, he's insulted himself. I don't think he insulted himself once in that video.
No, it's just like, my girlfriend sucks. She has a corpse in her fridge.
He does say she has a corpse in her fridge, though.
Yeah, that part's not even that private of information.
No,
that part's the funny part of the video.
Right. It's when we get to like, what part made us really uncomfortable?
It was the beginning where he was just talking about how much he hated her as a joke.
Right, that
was just, ugh.
Upsetting. Also, he's buff now.
He's buff now and he has a mustache.
Show the Instagram post.
Listen.
So, I still follow the Odd Ones Out on Instagram, and every time I refresh my feed and he appears, I shiver.
It's like, we used to be able to relate to this man because he was a skinny white man and we are skinny white men, but now he's just a Chad. I can't relate to a Chad. Look at me. Look at us. Look at these beta males that you see.
Well, I don't know about you, Theo.
No. Okay. It's just...
Let me just sit up a bit.
He's tall, but he has nothing else going for him.
Me or the Odd Ones Out?
Both. Both of you.
Yep.
Both of you.
Yep.
Well, the Odd 1s Out has a girlfriend. And a fursuit. You don't have either of those things. You have none of those things. Everyone in the comments of that video was like, his girlfriend's a furry? And I'm like, he's a furry.
So is he.
He is a literal furry.
He has a fursuit.
Like, why are you surprised that his girlfriend's a furry? We don't hate furries. This is a pro-furry account. He has so much merch.
He does.
So much merch. I have his head on a keychain.
Oh yeah, we did buy those. We just bought those at Target.
Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't be able to get YouTuber merch at Target. It feels so wrong.
Right.
I don't like it.
Right.
Already seeing like FNAF merch at Target was enough to like send shivers.
No, that's fine. It's when I'm walking through Target and see a shirt that says sus on it with the Among Us man. That's when I'm like, oh,
Can we go to Target and get me that?
Just a shirt that says sus. Yeah. When the imposter is sus.
When the imposter is sus. When the odd one is out.
Don't give him merch ideas.
I'm honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, literally every single video that he disagrees with someone with, he just acts like they're the stupidest person.
Right.
Like the video he made about clothes, he was making fun of like people who wear like branded clothes.
Right.
Which like, I mean, I don't understand why someone would pay like a bunch of money for clothes.
But he just insults people.
He just literally, and like he like made fun of people who wear watches because everyone has a phone. And it's like people just wear watches because they look cool. I mean, we're wearing Apple watches.
I'm not wearing mine.
Well,
Mine's
he
charging.
has an Apple Watch, so ours are like phones. But I wear like a normal watch all the time too. But like I'm always self-conscious about it because I saw in an TheOdd1sOut video that he hated watches and people who wear watches.
Time is an important construct in the fabric of the universe. It deserves its own measuring tool.
It deserves its own tool of measurement.
There we go. Theo, do we have anything else, or just was that the rant?
I think we just wanted to rant about TheOdd1sOut because we used to really like him, and now it's just a painful reminder that YouTube is turning people into corrupt capitalist monsters.
If we have merch one day, will we sell it in Target?
No.